Hey everyone, Anton Stettner here with the Real Estate Solutions Group at Keller Williams. One of the things we want to talk to you about, we create a giant list of things for today, is the 13 ways to win during a multiple offer situation. The market is heating up, we are back on fire, it's 2005 all over again, people. So what we're seeing right now is lack of inventory is creating bidding wars. So when you are a buyer, or just for anyone else watching this movie, and you want to win, here's basically what you need to do. I'm just going to say it, item number one, you're just going to have to pay more money sometimes. Most sellers, all they care about is the net amount to them. So if for some reason, you think you're going to be getting in a multiple offer situation, the house is on the market for $300,000 and you go through and there's already 15, 20 cards inside the house, the reality is you may need to pay $305. You may need to pay slightly more, assuming the property is going to appraise. The second thing, and this isn't really a big one, your offer needs to be clean. And what I mean by that is put the offer together neat and tidy. If it was written on the hood of the car and it's not legible, that may be a problem. And for some of our clients, like bank-owned properties and short sales, the banks aren't going to accept those offers that aren't clean and legible. Okay, so first off, let's make the offer clean. Let's read the MLS instructions and comments. See, a lot of listing agents, what they specifically do is they're going to put comments specifically about things that need to be in the offer or how to put the offer together. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to need to read the addendums. Most MLSs have an addendums tab, and there could be specific information that you're looking for in relation to that. That would be in the addendums. And then the last thing is I'm going to recommend you type it. Don't handwrite this, type it so it's nice, easy, clean, and legible. You guys are currently looking at my handwriting, and this is me working really hard to make it look good, okay? So, type your offer, make it look good. The next thing you got to remember is don't ask for the moon. Asking for the moon is gone. And what I mean by when I'm talking about the moon is once again, this is for hot properties. For a hot property, you're not going to be able to go in and you're not going to be able to get 30 grand off the listing price, all of your closing costs paid, do a 20-day inspection, and then get them to throw something else in.
You're still on make a clean offer and you did read the MLS instructions.
I think I said don't ask for them. Yeah, I did don't ask for them.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Should we rewind it and sing? No, I think you're right.
Is it on?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you did, because you were like, don't ask for stupid things. Yeah.
Okay, item number 4, don't ask for random stuff, okay? And what I mean by that is in a multiple offer situation, you're probably not going to be able to ask for their riding lawnmower. Isn't that beautiful, by the way? I mean, that is a prime specimen of a riding lawnmower. And the swing set. Now, however, you may be able to ask for the swing set if the kids are grown. Talk to the listing agent before you ask for random stuff, okay? Because this may kill your deal, especially if for some reason the wife, her pride and joy is her John Deere lawnmower, okay? Just be thinking about these things. Item number 5, know or lower your closing costs. And what I mean by that, if the seller is ultimately just looking at the net price, one of the things you're going to have to pay attention to is, do you need the full 3%? Could you do 2.5? Could you do 2.75? Well, if someone else asked for 3 and they came in with the same offer and you only asked for 2.75 and I'm representing the seller, I'm telling the seller to take your offer because it nets them more money. So, know or lower your closing costs. Do you need the full 3%? Another way that you can do this is you can use lender credits to compensate for closing costs. And what I mean by that is interest rates being huge and historically low right now, we can ask the lender to give us a slightly higher rate and they'll then kick in a credit for some of our closing costs. So we may be able to get this number down by increasing the rate slightly. Chat with your lender about that. Item number 7, increase your earnest money. Okay, so there's actually like 5 different tricks inside of this increase your earnest money one. Let me give you an example. If you're making an offer on a $300,000 house and someone else has a $1,000 earnest money, what if you had a $3,000 earnest money? That would show you're more serious. Or a $5,000 earnest money. So let's say you put in a $5,000 earnest money, and once the inspection contingency was lifted, so let's just say 5 days after mutual acceptance, you lifted your inspection contingency and you paid $1,000 non-refundable earnest money to the seller upon removal of your inspection contingency. Now that's working with your earnest money. What if maybe later on during the transaction, as soon as your financing contingency was lifted, you then paid another $1,000 to the seller? So get creative with your earnest monies. Give larger earnest monies and maybe pay them to the seller as you go through in order to win. What seller in their right mind won't allow, hey, look at an offer and say, wow, this buyer really wants this. They got a big earnest money and they're going to put their money where their mouth is. They're going to take your offer. Item number 8, increase your down payment. And here's what I mean. A lot of people, they may be able to go USDA or VA or some type of conventional zero down. Well, if we've got a zero down product and we're looking at that versus an FHA, we're going to take the FHA because the seller feels it has more skin in the game. Everyone does. If I've got FHA versus a 5% conventional, we're taking the 5% conventional. So try and increase your down payment. Item number 9, shorten your timelines, okay? And what I mean by shorten your timelines is if you have 10 days to do an inspection, do it in 3. If you got 30 days for your financing, do it in 20, okay? Just shorten those timelines to make that offer cleaner and tighter. Item number 10, what about less or no contingencies? I mean, if this is a really hot property, this is the home of your dreams, or you're an investor and you know this is a smoking deal, what if you did an inspection beforehand and went in with no inspection contingency? Okay, what if you did a 2-day inspection and after 15 days you waived your financing contingency because you knew your client was already so well qualified it didn't matter? So think about less or no contingencies. Item number 11 is you can use an escalation clause. Escalation clauses are, you agree to beat any offer by $1,000 up to a purchase price of $310,000. Now, one of the things I recommend is that don't necessarily go in even increments, because if you're using escalation clauses, what if you went in $789 increments? That way, if someone else is going in $500 increments, you would beat them by $300 or $289 in this case. So when you're using an escalation clause, I recommend going in uneven numbers for the escalation. Okay? Item number 12 is one of my absolute favorite ones. Present the offer in person. If I can get in front of a seller when I'm representing a buyer, I have the opportunity to sell the buyer. I may bring some pictures of the buyer. I may bring a story. In multiple situations, I have been the winning offer because the seller is not selling a product. They are selling something they are emotionally attached to, that they love, that they raised their kids inside, and they want another family to do that. Or maybe they didn't raise their kids inside there, but maybe they retired there, okay? Or maybe they built that wonderful garden, but they've got some special love for that particular property, and they want to know someone else is going to love it too. So present the offer in person and make your buyers a real person. Item number 13, this is not recommended, but this is a possibility. You can lower your commission in order to get a higher net to the seller. Okay? Once again, not necessarily recommended, but that is a possibility. This is our 1 through 13 list of how to win multiple offers. I'm Anton Stettner with the Real Estate Solutions Group. Please subscribe above and leave comments below, and we will update you more as we go. Thanks.